So I've heard that mining is great for just stabilizing grids. I haven't done the deep enough research on that. I know mining, bringing mining into a country, it incentivizes the production of grids. It incentivizes the investment into the power grid. Um, I mean, of course, that's a good thing. That's definitely going to be a good thing. And then there's also the fact that if needed, miners can be turned off and they can stabilize the grid, something along those lines. I haven't done the deepest research on that. What are your thoughts? What did you have in mind there?
Yeah, well, I think you're spot on, and I think that's without doing a lot of research, you understand what's happening here. But I like to say it like this: Bitcoin mining is the only uh, sustainable human network that actually promotes technology and energy innovation because miners are driven to find the lowest cost of production. So number one, they're going to go after wasted energy. Once they capture that wasted energy, which by the way, we're nowhere close to doing that. But once we do that, now comes energy technology innovation. Now we can
Yeah.
start to move and trend towards free energy. And one of Trump's policies that I strongly agree with, and one of his ways of fighting inflation. And this is somebody who understands that Trump in 4 years with no wars spent more than Obama did in 8 years with the nickname of Barack Obama dropping bombs, right? So Trump spent a lot of money. All right. He's not doing what you should be doing to fight inflation. But his policy to fight inflation is to address energy, to lower the
Yeah.
energy cost, to tap into the oil markets and to lower energy costs because energy cost is a line item for every single business. And if you can reduce that line item, then prices can come down while profit margins are maintained because they don't lose profitability. And so I love that he understands that when we reduce energy costs, we can actually bring prices down. Now, I wish he also understood, on the other hand, that the government can't spend trillions of dollars and have prices come down. But you can't get the best of both worlds. But at least he understands the energy aspect. And when you plug Bitcoin into that equation, that's how you get. I mean, if we're ever going to have free energy in this world, it'll be the result of Bitcoin mining. So I
Yes.
think that plays a really big role, not only in stabilizing the security and efficiency of the grid, but also in the financial aspect and the economic aspect and helping to lower costs of production in order to drive these prices down, remembering that lower prices means increased demand. And that's what a strong economy is. A strong economy is more consumption and more production. You can't have
Yeah.
one without the other. You need more production and more consumption. And the only way you can do that is if you lower prices. And tackling energy costs is one of the best way to lower prices. So this is what we were talking about earlier. There's so many different avenues that Bitcoin goes into. It just like it blows your mind how much the world can change if we can just get some people who understand what's going on to get into some decision making positions.
It never ends. You can just keep finding more and more solutions. I think that's it. So we were talking about real estate before. You said you wanted to mention something. I don't think we went into it.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm
what
sorry.
do you remember what it
I have
was?
a bad habit of just going on and on
Oh
and
no, that's
on.
okay. Do you remember what that was? I think you were
We
saying
were yeah,
we were
what were
talking
we
about
saying?
the downstream effects of real estate.
Downstream effects of real estate. I said I wanted to mention. Oh, I think I did touch on that because that was the
Oh,
the
you did? Okay.
borrowing against yeah,
Yes,
because that's the biggest strategy right now, right?
that's it.
It's like looping. Like people in DeFi are like, did you ever loop your ETH? I'm like, did you ever loop real estate? Nothing new is going on here.
Yeah.
You got loopers going on everywhere. But I think you're right. Those people are really not supplying a good to the industry, right? Like they
No.
they they think they're doing something net positive, but the net positive is their cash flow. The net positive is not to society and then culture at large.
That's it.
People need a home, and and it's not necessarily their fault because they're actually being smart investors and smart stewards of their capital. But now that Bitcoin has entered the scene, they're not being as smart as they can be. And that's what I think that you were touching on. And I wanted to reiterate that was so
Yes.
well said. And I absolutely agree. Real estate is destined to just I don't want to say collapse because collapse isn't the right word, but let's say decentralize or let's say make more equitable, right? Like the distribution of homes. Like now, if you have I live in Florida, if I have a West Coast home and I have an East Coast home, um, unless I really want to go back and forth between like surfing and boating, well, then I'm probably going to sell that home because if I'm using that home for not surfing or not boating and I'm just trying to store my value in it, well, I can do that much better in Bitcoin. I can do that
Yeah.
much more securely in Bitcoin. And I can take it with me wherever I need to go. God forbid I wanted to up and go. So the comparison between real estate and Bitcoin is almost like the comparison between somebody who wants to talk Bitcoin and they just learned about it last week versus someone like you and me who has put in thousands of hours of studying Bitcoin. It's uncomparable, the two
Yeah.
asset classes. And you have engineered money that is a real solution versus real estate, which has just been a temporary solution as we try to figure out how to turn that inflation into our a benefit versus our own demise. And that's what's so exciting about Bitcoin and collateralized lending. I think it truly does make inflation your friend. And if
Yeah.
everybody can understand that, then it's like you all of a sudden you don't care that the government is printing the money anymore. Matter of fact, print it up, baby, because the more you print, the more purchasing power I have. Right? So it's a trade-off there. I'm not saying that should happen. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just
Of
saying
course.
that at least they're not stealing from me anymore. At least I can protect my time and energy.
Nothing they can do can destroy your purchasing power. I think that's essentially it. Right? When
Yes.
you're on a Bitcoin standard, you can't have your money taken from you unless they come to your door, unless they come knocking. Of course, that's different. Not saying that that can't happen, but if they do it to one house, how many houses are they're going to get to?
Yeah.
10, 15 until the news spreads. People start telling everybody, "Hey, they're coming to your house to take this." People are going to arm up, right? That's just where it is. This is
Yeah.
how it goes with inflation with the legacy system. They can easily take your money without even telling you.
Yeah.
And that's I think where the biggest benefit of Bitcoin is. They
Yeah.
can't steal from you without your permission.